So hi everyone, thank you for being here with us today. Today for this session we have an interesting topic about the future of commerce at Agentic. I'm really happy to have with me today Anne-Claire and Arnaud. Arnaud, you are the head of FDE, EMEA, OpenAI, and Anne-Claire, you are the chief of AI and data at Mirakl. We have seen for now many months a switch that appeared in our industry around the switch from generative AI, where basically we augment people, we create contents, to more agentic, where we automate tasks and processes. So Arnaud, maybe can you explain to us what is the difference between the old days of Gen AI and this new agentic era?
Thanks, Hanan. So hey everyone, thank you for making the time today. Thank you, Anne-Claire, for the discussion. So maybe just to put things in perspective, ChatGPT was created 3 years ago now. I think it's been like it's now become a mainstream app for consumers. We have more than 800 million weekly active users. So I think it's clear that like a significant percent of the world population that has access to internet now uses ChatGPT. If you think about like how things evolved in the last couple of years, we moved from a world in which you started asking questions to the platform and basically getting an answer. I think there was the world of chatbot that we saw in like 2023 and 2024, into a world of what we call now agent, which is a much more proactive experience where you move from this question and answer to a sort of like automated decision-making system that has access to workflows, access to tools, and sort of like help you make the decision of tomorrow. And I think what we're seeing in the market right now is a change, especially in the enterprise. Like I think AI is having its enterprise moment in 2025. We're seeing like more and more businesses adopting AI. We have like, I think 1 million businesses active on OpenAI platform, ChatGPT, and our API this year. And I think like the speed at which we've seen this is significant. Like people are moving from just thinking about like sparkling AI on top of their business to really making this the core of their businesses. And I think Mirakl is a great example of this, just rethinking how you approach your own business with AI. So I think like we are very excited about what is coming and sort of like how this new agentic experience is transforming the lens of businesses of today.
So you mentioned all these transformations that appear inside companies. I know that one of the main ingredients of this transformation is capability to use the data in the context of the company. How much is it important and how does it work?
Well, I think to make AI work in companies, you need two things. You need the people and you need the systems. And the system that power these tools of today, these agentic systems, is data. And not only it's having data, but it's having data structured in a way that is accessible to the context of your agents. So it's about like getting the agent to be able to query dynamically your systems of records, the tools that they need to access, pretty much the same way that you needed your employees and your experts to have access to these systems in the world of 2020. I think now it's becoming increasingly important that those systems are unified and accessible for the agents so that you can think about changing the processes of tomorrow to make them AI-enabled and change the way your people operate on these processes.
So no clean data, no AI at the end.
No clean data, no AI. I think that's been true for a few years now, but it's especially true now as we enter in this world of sort of like automation and moving beyond just like question and answers.
Okay. Switching to you, Anne-Claire, you of course have done this data cleaning journey for AI. Can you share with us what did you do and also what are the main use cases or starting use cases you have done? And can you share with us some feedback from the field?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is we had two different journeys. One for the organization, to be able to redesign an organization that can scale and that can also boost growth with AI and with agents. And the other one was more how we rethink the business model of the company, how we rethink our SaaS, to power it with AI. And we didn't want to give reason to the CEO of Microsoft that said, I think it was 1 year ago, SaaS is dead with AI. And we were like, no, the SaaS can be reborn. And so if we just double click on the first one, on the organization, the first step of our journey was starting in 2023, quite early, but just to be, we were very clear, giving the orient to the organization, saying 100% of Mirakl workers should just use AI. There is no other way. This is the way in the company. And we work a lot about creating the condition, putting the technical enablers, can be ChatGPT Enterprise, but creating really the layer of having a meta platform for all Mirakl workers to start at the beginning to do the human to AI in a chat conversation, but also after very quickly to enable them to connect to what we have in the company, can be the data, can be the knowledge, can be the SaaS we are using also in the company to make and create efficient agents. Because we really believe that what is really effective and powerful is if we are able to combine the expertise of people plus AI and agent, because agent will be powerful if the human that has crafted the product really know his stuff, know what good quality is an output. To give a concrete example on that, we are now, first to give a concrete metric, we are now at 55% of Mirakl workers that have started to build at least one agent for their individual purpose or to redesign a workflow. The other one is we started by also thinking about how could we bring more value to our customers for what a lot of B2C companies have tackled, but for B2B companies also a challenge, the customer service. So we started by the vision. Clearly, the vision is all of our customers around the world, in Japan, in US, in Europe, should be able to get an answer to their question 24/7 in their natural language. Come from Japan. I expect to have an answer in Japanese. I don't expect the way I'm used to do it today. Go on a search bar, type, have a bunch of lists, then after read the documentation to after come back to the SaaS product. Our target vision, it's fully embedded in the SaaS software. You see, someone that is starting to have tension, that is annoyed by something, and you are able to detect this context. You are able then to give him the answer and take the action on their behalf. And where we are now is not the human, the agent that is able to take autonomously this action on behalf of the user. It's already today I'm able to provide the answer. And to do that, we realized that two things were key. The tech writer in the company that were writing the technical documentation, that is the data powering the OneHelp agent we have. And the second one was the customer service, because they are the one handling with the customer support tickets level 1, that when you read it, you just say, oh, just read the documentation. So we quantified that. We realized that 70% of the tickets were more level 1-like. And so we decided to ramp up and to support our growth by creating this agent. And today, the OneHelp agent is customized depending on the profile of the user, being able to give the answer. And we are now at 96% of customer satisfaction. And we were able at the same time to improve the efficiency of the customer service team of 37 points. So that's huge. But in the meantime, that was really a journey of the team. Now we have merged the technical writer team and the customer support, and we have one team leader in the customer support team that is managing the agent. That's our role. And we have also people from customer support that have built their own agent to improve the documentation, because we realize that now what is critical is not, and the level of quality of a good documentation is not, it's well written in English, but it's really able to provide a stepper answer, and tomorrow the quality will also evolve. The second one we have was in the product, and if I have to share a piece of advice, when you look at where you can bring value in your product and services to your user, the first thing is you have a trade-off between solving small problems you haven't tackled yet. That is more what I will qualify as the long tail of new use cases. The big risk of doing that, it's okay because you think you take less risk because you are like, okay, that's not core business, but that can create value. In a way, you have 95%, because it's the fail rate of GenAI, to never be able to reach the ROI, because the problem is not big enough. That's not the problem of the cost of the technology. The first mistake is to start by something that is not creating enough gap of value for your user. We started in a more bold way, saying, let's go bold or go home. And we started by saying, these are the three main things that create the highest value for our customers. And we think that by considering, let's ask the AI and now the agent to first do the job on the behalf of the user, then let the human review the result, we can have a drastic improvement. And we have done that on the catalog transformer. It's just a core thing in our business. And we were able to reduce the lead time of the process for user of 90%. That would have been possible if we haven't said, let's first ask the AI to do the job, then the human to review, and the model evolving every weeks, now every month at least. It's going to be possible tomorrow to have less review of the human, and we are in the best position to tackle this new wave of agent fleet that are coming.
So thank you for this feedback from the field and for the number that are really impressive. And I can keep asking myself, so you mentioned the fact that the models are coming out to like 1 time per month and it's going really fast. Thank you for that, Arnaud. So what is the future of agentic commerce? So what should we expect as consumer, as companies, and as users?
Well, I think you can look at this from 2 lenses. First, you're going to see new business emerge or transform like Mirakl, proposing different experiences to the users and to their customer. And then you're going to see a change in how consumers interact with the world. And I think shopping and e-commerce is going to be a key thing. So maybe to first speak about the first one. So I think what we are working on at OpenAI and the core mission is to enable businesses around the world to make use of the technology to transform their businesses. That means we're giving access to models, to tools, agent orchestration, structure, like these kind of things, so that they can create their own agent. And I think it's easy to think as agent as a buzzword, like everybody talks about agent right now. But I think Anne-Claire's example is very tangible. Like we do see a lot of businesses like Mirakl, like Pigment, Zalando, and Spotify in Europe as well, sort of like taking the power of this technology and embedding at the core of their processes and their business model. So that's one thing that we're deeply engaged on, and we see like, I think it's been like 7x growth this year of businesses using our technology to transform their businesses. The second thing is how users change their way of operating with the world. And I'll share a personal experience on this. I really liked Sam Altman's sneakers on the GPT-5 launch live stream. And so what I would have done in the past is probably like go and scroll online to figure out like what is, where can I find these sneakers? I just took a screenshot, put it in ChatGPT, and then like 25 seconds later, I had like 3 examples of places where I could go and buy this. And I think as a user, this was a transformative experience for me to sort of like feel, well, this is, I can basically touch this now, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Like we are investing in the agentic commerce protocol. We've open sourced this. This is basically a way for every businesses to make their product available through ChatGPT. We've launched this with Stripe a few months ago. I think we announced yesterday the new shopping agent. So that's a new way, a new experience that is basically customized for people to interact with their shopping journeys. We all have different things that we like. We all have our own experiences, and like, what if ChatGPT could act as your personal shopper? And I think we're going to see a lot more of this. This is very early days, but my guess is that 5 years from now, like most people will be interacting through this type of medium, like LLMs, as their gateway to shop for everything: their house, their sneakers, their stuff. And then the last thing is we're also creating ChatGPT apps so that every business can embed their own experience within ChatGPT, so that you don't have to leverage OpenAI's experience and UX. You can bring your own. So that's going to be launched in Europe in the next few months. But my guess is that this is basically going to transform the way we all interact, either through the Mirakl type of experience or through our own experience, and giving access to the vast majority of the world that now uses ChatGPT on a daily basis.
That's really, really interesting, and I'm sure that it will completely change the way as consumer we buy and interact with e-commerce. And when you hear all of that, Anne-Claire, so what do you think? What is for you and regarding these technologies the future for Mirakl? Because you mentioned you have like 3 main challenges: the adoption layer, about making people augmented by AI, and then you have this reshape of the processes where basically we decided to tackle the 3 more important processes inside your company and try to figure out how to improve them with AI and generative AI and agentic now. So for you, what is like the next step on your side?
Yeah, so I think this is a really exciting era that is starting. It's like even bigger than the web or when it was the launch of the search engine. I think what is coming is ultimately we are aligned on the vision. We will have maybe all our own personalized, crafted shopping agent that will operate, and we believe that it's going to be a huge challenge for companies to be able to manage external channels. An external agentic channel could be their own agent on their own point of contact. It can be also an app in ChatGPT. It can be also to improve the experience they will have on their own website, because the user, they will use Atlas or other agentic browser on that. So we believe that what is very key for the company is being able to build an agentic layer to be able to push their catalog, but also their catalog optimized for their catalog data, to be really optimized not only for human, but for agents. So that apart, we hear a lot about GEO. So what we are doing at Mirakl is building the agentic layer to provide it as a really one-click solution for any companies to be able to optimize their product content data, but also to start to sell on their own agentic channel, as well as being able to sell and manage checkout and after sales also on these channels. So 3 parts: augmented the organization, agentify your operation, and at Mirakl we start to already have revenues on that, and the third part, be ready to be able to transact and interact with your customers through agents. And that is not if or a risk, this is already happening, and this market is going to be big, because looking at the last McKinsey study, it's going to be $1 trillion in the US by 2030, and it's going to be 3 to 5 trillion globally on commerce, only for goods, not for services. So this is going to be massive, and this is going to be a challenge to be ready to start to experiment fast on that.
So your last point is really interesting, because at the end, what we need to keep in mind is that in this new agentic world, companies should be ready to expose their data, because their only channel to sell and to interact with the consumer is not only their own website and application, but also all these new tools, web browsers, agents, etc. So if you have one advice, so you gave many advices to the audience, I think, but if you have one advice for the people with us today, and one last word to share with them, maybe one of you want to start?
I'll make it two. I think the first one would be think bigger, because this is basically transforming everything. So you have to think about not just the tactical changes, but how your whole business is going to be transformed. And second is start today, basically start iterating. It's going to be a journey anyway, but I think the learning of how you make this process, how you expose your data, is a learning process. And so it's likely going to take some time for existing businesses that have a head start to make the change.
+1 on that, but I would say 2 also. First, experiment. This is for the oldest like me in the room, it's like when Google emerged, when you had Yahoo, so it's going to be not stable for the coming months and years ahead. So be ready to experiment and be flexible. And the second one is basically the same as Arnaud, is don't think incremental on your own markets. It's creating new market opportunities, and go for it and start to experiment now in this era.
Thank you very much, both of you, for your words, and thank you everyone to be here with us. Thank you.